Hi, this is James Shrug with Westpac London's end of day report for Monday, February the 25th. There were early decent gains on European equity markets today, follow through from the speculation that a dove might be appointed as the Bank of Japan, the next Bank of Japan governor. That saw European equities up as much as 2% or more in early trading. However, later in the session, as exit poll results started to come through from Italy, showing that although Bassani's centre-left coalition looks like taking control of the lower house, Bassani being the market-preferred administration going forward, Silvio Berlusconi's centre-right coalition looks like it's going to get control of the upper house, and investors fear that that pretty much makes for an ungovernable Italy, just like in the old days or back in the 90s. That fear has seen those gains on equity markets evaporate. So it doesn't look that dramatic when you look at the modest gains across European markets today. The London market up 1/3 at the close, the French market up 0.4%. Germany still doing okay with a 1.5% gain, Spain up 0.8% and Italy up 0.7%. But the gains were much larger than that. I think the average gain across Europe was something like 2.5% earlier in the session, and at one point, just after those polls to come through, that had been totally erased, although there were slight gains into the close. On the data front today, we had the Dallas Fed Factory Index for the US. It fell from 5.5 to 2.2 in February. That's the third non-negative reading though in a row after a string of negatives through much of the middle of last year. The Chicago Fed National Activity Indicator, it turned negative in January after two positive readings in November and December. That reflects a weaker data tone. Basically that index is based on 80 or so published data releases compiled into kind of like a coincident index. UK mortgage lending slowed in January to its softest since September last year. That's based on British Bankers Association data, which covers about 70% of the market. And speaking of the UK, of course, ongoing political ramifications from the AAA stripping or the rating downgrade by Moody's. The Chancellor has said that he'll continue with his economic course because failure to do so would risk yet further downgrade by the agencies. Certainly sterling took a battering on that this morning, particularly against the euro, but it's bounced back this afternoon as the euro took a battering from the Italian election concerns. That's pretty much about it. The Dow at the moment is down 0.3 of 1%. The commodity markets are showing, let's see, copper is up 1/3 of 1%. Gold is up 1% at $1,589 an ounce, and oil is unchanged at $93.17 a barrel. And the Aussie dollar at 1.028 against the US dollar lost about 0.5 cent as those Italian election results started to come through. So just as with the Greek elections last year, with the Italian elections now, the Aussie dollar is not immune to these European political developments. And that's about it, other than to mention that Guy Debelle is giving a talk in Australia Tuesday about the impact of the exchange rate on the economy. Okay, that's it for now. I'll be back tomorrow.